make sure everyone knows that we're trying to be on time. All right, good evening and welcome everyone to our December 2nd, 2025 Angels Camp City Council meeting. Roll call?
Yes. Councilmember Greenhill?
Here.
Vice Mayor Sharado?
Here.
Mayor Shemente?
Here.
Councilmember Scott?
Here.
And Councilmember Brolio?
Present.
Thank you. Would you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 6 is report out of closed session. No action was taken and direction was given to staff. Item number 7, approval of the agenda as posted or amended. Any changes, Steve, to the agenda?
No, thank you.
Any changes from the council about order? Anyone from the public? Anyone online?
Nobody with questions.
Oh, the screen's not on.
I'm gonna turn them on in just a minute.
Okay, it's all right, Michelle.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. So is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the
Been a
agenda.
motion?
I'll second.
There's been a second. Any other discussion? Any comment from those present? Anyone online?
Nobody with questions online.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Yes. Behill?
Aye.
Sharado?
Aye.
Shemente?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
And Brolio?
All right, moving on to item number 8, presentation, proclamations, recognitions. Central Sierra Economic Development District, Steve.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. We had a request from the Central Sierra Economic Development District to make a presentation, which we are fortunate to have with us tonight, Sophia and Alex, who has provided for us in advance their PowerPoint presentation and would like to talk about some of the good things that are going on in our region. So I'd like to introduce and hand it over to Sophia and Alex.
I like that one. Sure.
I can speak to the man jumping off the unicorn. Let me start there. And in all seriousness, good evening and thank you for having us.
You need to push
I
your
think
button.
it's this one,
There we
Steve.
go.
I've got it. I'm sorry.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, this one I think you have.
Okay.
Good.
Get there. There we go.
There it is.
All right, there we go. Mic on, everybody good?
Yes. Thank you.
Check, 1, 2.
Somehow.
All right,
I
well,
know.
good evening, Honorable Mayor, council members, and staff. Thank you for having us here this evening. Again, as introduced, my name is Alex Bloom. I'm the Economic Development Manager for the Central Sierra Economic Development District, as well as the Motherlode Workforce Development Board, serving Amador, Calaveras, Mariposa, Tuolumne, and Alpine counties.
That's for
Very
you.
happy to be here tonight alongside my esteemed colleague Sophia Kaufman to give you a regional update on our activities. You know, I generally try to give these as an annual update, and it's probably been longer than that since I've been to this council, probably well over a year and a half, so we're overdue. And now with the assistance of Sophia, we'll try to do this on a regular cadence so that we can keep you updated on all the cool and interesting things we're doing. So, go ahead and roll on. So just a quick overview of what we'll be talking about tonight. We'll be talking about our California Jobs First initiative update. Some very exciting work there. The CASF, that is the California Advanced Services Fund, that is our broadband infrastructure grant. We'll talk a little bit about funding sources and the sustainability of our initiatives. And then where we have the CEDS annual report, the CEDS is our comprehensive economic development strategy. That's generally what I do on a yearly basis. I'll come around and I'll tell you these are the things that we worked on to promote economic development, and here are the tangible pieces of evidence to show you that we're doing the good work in our communities. That can be a little dry. So instead, kind of towards the end of the presentation, I've thrown you a little update on like the last 90 to 120 days of what we've been working on. I think it provides a much better look into the activities and kind of initiatives that we're pushing forward rather than giving you a dry update and going down the checklist of all the things we've done. So, can you go ahead and roll? All right, so the California Jobs First initiative, for those of you who are not familiar, is the largest economic and workforce development initiative in the history of the state of California. Several $100 million were infused into the state, broken into 13 regions. So the state broke us into 13 clusters, as you will, which is the Seaside region, but also inclusive of our partners over the hill in Inyo and Mono counties. So kind of an interesting landscape, given that we can't really access that side of the hill currently. Give you a little update. This is the last 2 years or so of this initiative. We went through the planning phase. We wrote a regional summary, which will actually be certified as an economic development strategy. So we'll be able to kind of use that as a guiding light for future work. And currently we are in the implementation and catalyst phases. So there are $9 million in projects that are currently being implemented throughout the Sierra region. The implementation portion of this is kind of a second setback or set off from the Jobs First initiative that will support shovel-ready projects. So where the catalyst funding is intended to catalyze smaller projects that wouldn't receive funding otherwise, implementation is shovel-ready, really projects that just need that capital infusion to make their project go. There was a round one that just happened maybe 3 or 4 months ago. The deadline for the next phase of implementation is tomorrow. So we will be submitting a proposal by 5 p.m. tomorrow to support the regional bioeconomy. Go ahead. Just a couple quick statistics. I'm going to try to keep this pithy because I got a lot of slides, but just kind of give you an overview of where we've come from, where we've been, highlighting the community-led portion of this. This initiative has always been a community-led initiative and really kind of instills that feeling of lived experience into this particular initiative. So really important to highlight that. You know, this is based on the lived experience of constituents throughout this region and the concerns, opportunities, and threats that pose to workforce and economic development. The priority industry sectors for our region are healthcare, agriculture, natural and working lands, which is forestry and other kind of related industries, recreation and tourism, and clean energy. Sophia, alongside myself, are the stewards and sector navigators for healthcare, natural and working lands, and agriculture. Over there on the right, we talked about those catalyst projects, $9 million in funding awarded, 39 projects were funded through that initiative, and the little bar chart there is kind of the countywide impact, so you can see where that money is going throughout the region. The transition phase, we don't have to talk about that today. That's kind of what's coming next, and I'll come back to you in 6 months and tell you all about that. All right, go ahead. Just kind of outlining the priority from the state of this regionalism. So they broke the state into these 13 regions that you can see illustrated up there. There was a lot of consternation around the arrangement of these regions. So ours is difficult because A, it's geographically quite dispersed. We have 7,000 square miles and about 200,000 people. I speculate that there are more cows than people in our region, but that's a good thing, right? That's why agriculture is one of our primary industry sectors. So the reason I show you this is because the state has really kind of dropped breadcrumbs to indicate that this will be our region for funding in perpetuity, or at least for the next 5 years through 2030. The two major initiatives from the state, the K-16 initiative and the High Road Training Partnership initiative, are both key workforce initiatives, and actually ask you to outline which region of the Jobs First initiative that you lie within. So the state's telling us this is our region at least till 2030, so we're making good with all our neighbors. Go ahead and roll. Okay, so what are we actually doing in this process? So a lot of it has been thinking about ways that we can build capacity and expand access. So a lot of the work that goes on in this region happens in silos. We have a lot of people who are working on similar projects at the same time, and I've seen multiple cases where people could have just made a phone call and reduced the duplicative work, right? We could have done the same thing with 2 organizations and made it more simple, right? Simplified the process. So moving projects towards being non-duplicative and working together to really generate impact. Funding is also a challenge, believe it or not. $9 million is a lot of money to come to this region. You don't really see $9 million dropped out of the sky that often here. The challenge with this process is that we developed an equitable model. So if a project requested $400,000, they probably got close to $200,000. $100,000. So a big part of what we did was also finding alternative funding sources to leverage the funding that they receive from the Jobs First initiative. I talked a little bit about that sector navigation. Sophia has really led the charge on the agricultural sector and that sector navigation, but really serving as that credible, competent source of information. Industry does not like to have the same conversation twice or 3 times. So having one definitive source of information, one definitive source of workforce data, and to be able to have that connection is really, really important. So relationship management between industry, community-based organizations, government, and of course, workforce and economic development. Go ahead. Working groups and convenings are also a big part of what we're doing. So having a geographically dispersed region is challenging when it comes to in-person convening. So we have really kind of led the charge on making this a priority within this initiative. So getting people together in the same room. Similar to that duplicative work component that I described previously, we have people that work 5-10 miles from each other that have never actually sat down in a room together and talked about what they do and how they can work together. This was no more present in my mind when we had our healthcare sector conference, where we had MACT, the MACT Health Agency, alongside Matheson. And the executive directors had never sat down and had a conversation about how they could collaborate. So really kind of providing that opportunity for interface between those important partners. We've now executed those in healthcare, natural and working lands, and agriculture, and we'll continue to kind of convene those folks on a regular basis. Those activation plans there on the kind of the second bullet, that's the action plan behind what we're doing. So that's to say, here are all the things that we want to do, here's the strategy behind it, and here's how we'll achieve it. So those plans will kind of be our guiding light moving forward past the Jobs First initiative as how we kind of figure out what we're going to do for workforce and economic development for the region. Go ahead. I'm very proud to announce that CSED was awarded during this process. We have a youth entrepreneurship project. So what we'll be doing is sponsoring youth entrepreneurship classes throughout all 7 counties within the Sierra region. This is really, really exciting work. Youth out-migration is it is one of the core issues of our region. We lose youth at an alarming rate here in the Central Sierras due to lack of opportunity. So entrepreneurship is a key component to get people engaged with their communities and show that there is opportunity and financial viability in living and working here. We have an implementation partner in Sierra Commons. This is their core competency. They're out of Nevada City. They do entrepreneurship training across the state. Really excited to work with them. And then alongside this, we'll actually be implementing a youth chamber of commerce, which we're going to start in Tuolumne County, but look to expand to all of the CSED counties as they have capacity to achieve that within their organizations. Go ahead, please. Talk a little bit about broadband. We have some really exciting work in broadband. I know broadband can be a little dull and dry, and we're talking about burying cables and hooking lines up, but really it's the impact for these communities. We live in a digital world where students attend classes online, where patients access healthcare online, where a lot of the core competencies of business are done online, right? You go to a merchant and you hit the little square reader. Well, if that's not connected to the internet, it doesn't actually do anything. So having that available for business and the constituents of this region is critically important. We've been working with the RCRC, which is the Rural County Representatives of California, who are the major awardees under this work, and we're really excited about the model that they bring. So they bring an open access model, which promotes a competitive marketplace. It really allows different internet service providers to provide different tiers of service to the constituents. This is a challenge because in many parts of this region, you have one internet service provider, and they have complete monopoly of what they want to charge you and the service levels that they provide you. So the Golden State Connect Authority model will really kind of work to address that and address a competitive open marketplace. Okay. So you can just kind of see the money that is going to be coming to this region. So we talked about $9 million with Jobs First. Outside of that loan loss reserve, which is more of like a revolving loan fund, we're looking at upwards of $120 million in investment in this region over the next 3 years. Go ahead.
I see 0 for Calaveras
Yeah.
County.
Absolutely. I knew that
What are
question.
we doing?
Yeah. Well, we can ask.
We have no
another
cell
round.
service downtown.
You can ask questions or hold them till the end, whatever you want. So Calaveras got pushed to round 2. These were all the round 1 awards that happened kind of last fall and, not last fall, 3 months ago. There's a round 2 that'll be coming up in February and March. Calaveras got pushed to February and March. So just so everyone knows here, CSED did advocate, or I should say educate on behalf of Calaveras County to the CPUC. And we're very, very hopeful that Calaveras will be
And
awarded.
that's like another 38 million or something I was reading,
Roughly, yeah.
that
yeah.
second round?
If everything is awarded in the way that we see fit. So yeah, there will be significant investment coming to Calaveras County as well. There's also plans kind of forward-looking past these awards to connect Calaveras County to Alpine County. So bridging that Arnold to Bear Valley Gap where there's really no service, there's nothing, right? And it's a huge route for tourism and safety. So we're really looking towards that.
Would it be appropriate to educate our staff on how to apply for a grant to bring better cell service downtown? Is that even would that be appropriate for this type of grant?
So this is an infrastructure grant for broadband, but for cell service, I do have partners over at T-Mobile that we can connect you guys with and we can work with them. We don't particularly work on cell service. This is more like cabling. This is all the physical infrastructure.
Xfinity downtown?
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk offline.
Please, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we have a pretty good chance of being selected in that second round, right? Since all these other ones got the first round. And I was reading last night something where they kind of pushed us. They were advocating for Calaveras. And so we're hoping to get to be part of that second.
Yes. I would say that there's a very good shot for Calaveras to receive the award. I think I won't dive into that. There's some weeds to be dove into here, and I won't fully dive into them at this time. You can again connect offline, council member. But yes, to answer your question, yes, there's a very good chance that Calaveras County will receive that award.
Thank you.
Yeah. We can roll on. So a big part of what we've been doing with that CASET infrastructure grant and more broadly for CSED is really promoting awareness of what we do and the services that we provide within the region. What we have done, are we missing a slide? Can you roll ahead one slide real quick just so I can see, or down one, I'm sorry. Perfect. Okay, so roll back up, please. So I'm missing a slide here, which is just fine. So what we have done to really raise awareness of what we're doing, both with this campaign and with the Economic Development District, is we have engaged the California State University system. I reached out in partnership to the Cal State system because I just don't have capacity. We are basically a 2-person department stewarding millions and millions of dollars of grants, and so for me to work on a marketing campaign alongside grant management, administration, and all the kind of high-level work that I do seemed untenable. So volunteerism is my favorite model. The free 99 model is my favorite model. And so we engaged the CSU system, and we have a partnership with Cal State University Fullerton, where we engage their capstone marketing class, and they actually provide us with a team that assists us with our marketing efforts on a cohort-by-cohort basis. And so we're actually in our 5th cohort right now. And I would love for Sophia to talk a little bit about the relationship with the project.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to give everybody a bit of background, my background is in media and communications, and so I was glad to take on this role and helping lead the team. This has been an incredible way for us to expand our capacity. As Alex mentioned, we are a tiny team, and so we try and do as much as we can. So this has been a great capacity builder and an awareness builder, right, in the region. CSED has existed for decades now.
Since 1976.
Since 1976. And still, not many people in this region are aware of our presence or what we're doing or how we're doing it. And so that is a major priority of ours, to expand awareness in the region about not only what we're doing to serve regional residents, but how we're doing it, right? On things like this, the broadband infrastructure grant and all of the various projects that we're working on. So we've been excited to work with the team. We are finishing up actually the cohort for fall of 25 this week, and in the last 30 days, we've reached over 7,000 regional residents. So we're working hard to increase that awareness, and you'll probably and hopefully be seeing more of us along the way. But we are also entertaining the option to engage local community college students in this process as well. So hopefully we'll have more updates for you on that next time, but we do want to create more opportunity for local students to engage with this project. So.
You're supposed to say follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, yes.
You can go ahead and roll to the next slide, please. So talk a little bit about funding. So when I came into this role just under 2 years ago, I had one grant that I managed, and that was the California Advanced Services Infrastructure Grant at $595,000. Since then, we have done a really good job at finding additional funding sources for the work that we have. So that SJF is the Sierra Jobs First. That is the initiative that I talked about, kind of in the beginning. So we had 2 grants from them, the Sierra Founders Academy, which is our entrepreneurship initiative. Clear/LCI, that's our biomass entrepreneurship initiative. So that is California law empowering renewable energy is CLEAR, and LCI is land use and climate innovation through the state. We have about $100,000 to develop a biomass business toolkit, as well as host a Shark Tank-like business entrepreneurship process for regional businesses. We're working with some private partners to actually secure funding to get startup funding for those businesses. So kind of doubling down on that commitment to entrepreneurship in the bioeconomy. The DOL, Department of Labor Healthcare, that is going to support our work in the healthcare industry sector. That has actually been amended to also support work in the natural and working land sector. Our rural EV chargers is no longer pending. I am very, very excited to announce we did receive our rural EV charging grant in the amount of $4 million to put in rural EV charging locations across the Central Sierra region.
So is that going to be based on a competitive grant or something, or how is that going to be awarded? Because I know we had folks at our last council meeting talk about chargers, and we've been seriously considering and hoping that our council of local governments would come through funding or stuff. So
we'll be in touch.
Okay.
We were just awarded this 2 weeks ago. So we've kind of been scrambling, I think is the right word, because the implementation partner that will actually put in the charging locations wants to have these all implemented by June of 26.
Oh, wow.
So 17 locations is what we have proposed across the Sierra region, obviously some here in Calaveras County, but having those all built out and ready to use by June of 26 is a challenge. So we are moving at lightning speed to try to get all this work off the ground and get businesses engaged. So we'll connect a little bit more offline on that. The help that we need is getting potential business sites engaged with this process, because at the end of the day, this will likely be free infrastructure for these businesses and will support their business and economic development through the areas where these chargers are located. So very, very excited about that.
Add something.
Please do.
For any property owners or businesses that are interested in learning more about this, we're actually hosting 4 webinars before the holiday for people to attend, to ask questions to the implementation partners, as well as our partner on this grant, which is Momentum, based out of Sacramento, about the process, eligibility, etc. So the first webinar will take place on Monday. From 3 to 4 p.m. The next one will be the following Thursday. So the next 2 Mondays and Thursdays we'll have opportunities for people to engage with this. We have reached out to the Calaveras County Chamber to help us with this messaging to try and get the word out to businesses. But if anybody is interested in helping us do that in this room, we would be happy to engage you. So thank you.
Yeah.
Quick question on that. So does like county or like city-owned property count towards that, or would it have to be business owned?
To my knowledge, there is not a stipulation that would prohibit a city property being engaged.
Okay.
We have reviewed the plan that regional transportation agencies worked on several years ago. I can't remember exactly the title of the plan, but they actually identified locations throughout, I believe it was Amador, Calaveras, and Tuolumne counties for best EV charging stations.
We saw that at COG.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, we referenced this when we kind of picked out preliminary, potentially good sites. And we are it's an open call to all business and property owners.
Where is the meeting?
It's via Zoom.
It's online.
So we'll put out the letter to staff here and make sure that everyone here has access to those webinars.
You can also find the meeting or the registration link on our Facebook page right now.
You follow us on Facebook, guys. It's on behind the town.
You charge, you put it in your shop.
That's right.
I have to charge for an hour.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Get out of your car,
Retals and then they can shop.
go have something to eat, go buy something from one of the local merchants. That's the idea. Support economic development. Okay, I'm gonna keep running. I got a few more slides after this. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. That Prop 4 funding, so Prop 4 is the largest climate bond in the history of state of California, $1.76 billion that will be divided across regions throughout the state. We have actually increased our ask for that Prop 4 funding to $68 million. This will support workforce and economic development in the biomass sector, so in the bioeconomy. We have a really unique ecosystem here in the Central Sierras where workforce works with economic development, works with education, works with government entities. And in our conversations with the Sierra Nevada Conservancy, they made us aware that like this is the unique feature of our region and what makes business attractive here. So I'm pretty confident at this point that we will be awarded some amount of funding for Prop 4. I'm hopeful in that $6 to $8 million range. Implementation, we talked about that with the Jobs First initiative, due date tomorrow. I will get a couple hours of sleep tonight, more than likely, and finish that proposal as well. We're shooting for $4 to $6 million for that. All right, so this is the point where I generally do the update and I take the list and I say, this is what I did, and this is what I did, and this is what I did. That's boring. So instead, we're going to talk about all the exciting stuff that we've been working on kind of in the ecosystem of workforce and economic development rather than going down a checkbox list. So one of the big projects that we're really, really proud of is developing SierraIndustry.org for our regional industry partners, community-based organizations, and education partners. And I would love for Sophia to speak a little bit about Sierra Industry.
Yes, so we're excited to launch this website officially. We're continuing to build it out. But one thing that we've come across in working with various industries and sectors throughout the region is that people aren't talking to each other. Alex mentioned it earlier, and we're trying to provide a solution to that. It is no small feat. It is not an easy thing to create a central location for information and communication for a variety of industries across the region, but we're taking that task on via SierraIndustry.org. So right now, its current function is that it provides labor market data for the priority sectors for the region, and we will soon be announcing an expansion of our sector partnerships feature on the website. So as we mentioned, this year we launched industry partnerships for healthcare and our LEAF partnership, which is land, energy, agriculture, and forestry. And participants in those partnerships will be able to engage with each other on this platform. So we are creating essentially an online communication space for people to share these documents, to put out ideas to see if there are any partners willing to collaborate, et cetera. So it is a tall task to tackle, but we are excited to create this opportunity for industry to engage throughout the region. We mentioned earlier that the state of California does intend to continue awarding funding this way. And so this is one of the many steps we want to take into functioning productively in a regional setting, is to create a communication space where we can connect. So we look forward to building this out in any way that is best to serve industry. And if anybody has any ideas, we are open to any and all feedback, because ultimately this project is to serve people in industry in this region, not us. Thank you.
Potential employees as well. So I think one of the challenges, and Sophia did a great job of explaining Sierra Industry, one of the challenges is if I put myself in the shoes of someone who is looking to find a class or find a pathway, there's a lot of clicks that you have to make in order to actually find what you're looking for. Like even if you're going to Columbia College and you want to find a specific pathway, you have to click through 5 different pages and find the resource that you want. This will act as that resource. So when you go to SierraIndustry.org, you can actually scroll down to the education, you can pick the pathway you want, and it'll take you directly to the landing page, right? So it's a streamlining process, both for industry, but also to serve the employees of this region. Go ahead and roll on. So you all are probably very familiar with Columbia College. Columbia College is a big part of our workforce and economic development priorities for the region. They're very, very impactful partners in this space and have really worked alongside Mother Lode Job Training and the Economic Development District to really foster economic prosperity for the constituents of this region. Roll. One of those pieces of programming that has been particularly impactful is the Greater Sierra Forestry Corps. This is a piece of programming that prepares students for any number of careers in the forestry industry. As we know, that is a big industry around here. This is a 16-week program. So originally, this was an apportioned piece of curriculum through the college that took a year. Industry told us that is not fast enough. We need people yesterday. And so this is now a 16-week program that gets students in and out. They end up with certifications. They end up with skills and training in fuels reduction, chainsaw operations, all of this in 16 weeks. It is an intensive piece of curriculum. And then they can actually go on to other pieces as well. So there is a pathway that goes on to take them into heavy equipment and logging operations, or they can go on to get their associate's degree, or they can go into GIS and mapping. This is a core industry in this region for a reason. You know, we have these natural resources, we have a lot of them. And so having the ready workforce to support industry is a critical component of that ecosystem I was talking about. These cohorts are small, 20 to 25 folks. They graduate on a Friday, they have 3 job offers by Monday. That's how successful this piece of programming is. And so a part of that funding is to support this. We're actually on our final cohort of this programming, or final funded part of this programming. And so a big piece of that Prop 4 implementation funding will really look to sustain this programming for the foreseeable future. Hardwood biomass is one of our industry partners that we really like to utilize as an example of what a productive workforce and economic development ecosystem looks like. For those of you who are not familiar with hardwood biomass, they're located over in Jamestown, over by the prison, and they have been doing some very, very impactful work. Go ahead and roll on. So the reason that hardwood biomass even came to Tuolumne County is because of CSET. So hardwood biomass is out of Wallowa, W-A-L-L-O-W-A. Yeah. Just pretend you have a bubble in your throat, and that's what it's
Oregon.
Yeah, exactly, Oregon. So CSET approached Hartwood and said, hey, we want you to come work in Tuolumne County. So we actually wrote a business plan for them, secured funding through RCAC and HCD to actually get their business off the ground. And now they utilize Mother Lode Job Training for a number of services, supportive services as well. So they hire folks from the Greater Sierra Forestry Corps. They utilize Mother Lode Job Training for upskilling programs. So if people come in at like an entry-level position, we'll upskill them into another pathway, into a management pathway or to a forklift pathway, just so they can make more money. The goal of all this is not to just get people in jobs, okay? The goal of this is to get people in jobs where they can sustain families, where they can actually live and work and survive and be comfortable, not having to scrap and scrape for every dollar. So a lot of this programming gets people in at like that 30, 35, 40 bucks an hour type of range, where folks can actually sustain families, own homes, and be productive within the economy. The general manager, she's actually no longer with Hardwood Biomass, but she sat on our workforce development board and is a really impactful partner throughout the region. We look forward to what she does next because she's a rock star. Adventist Hospital, I'll just kind of go quickly here. I know I'm going to run along. Again, a very, very impactful partner in the healthcare space. The operations line executive there, kind of the front left, we're in the suit jacket, Tyler Newton, is the chair of our Workforce Development Board and also works with our Economic Development District. And they work with a lot of programming that we do with Columbia College as well. So if you want to roll slide. We have several different pathways through Columbia College where people can get engaged with healthcare programming. We have MA, oh gosh, now I'm gonna have to do it. MA, patient rep, phlebotomy. There's like 5 different pathways, and now that I'm in the moment, I don't have them on the text of the screen. There are 5 really important pathways through Columbia College that people can utilize to get some of those family-sustaining jobs. Adventist Health also has a skilled nursing facility in Sonora where they can actually get people trained up into nursing careers as well. So just kind of illustrating that connection between workforce, economic development, and industry. Yeah, very, very important role in the community. All right, I'm gonna go fast now. So just a highlight of what we've been doing with that east side component. So I mentioned that we have Inyo and Mono County in our region now as well. So a big part of that has been supporting some of the projects. So Blue Heron Farm is a really interesting and cool project that is out of Inyo County. You can go ahead and roll slide. It is a 10-acre farm in Inyo County. And get this, guys, you ready for this? It is the largest production farm in Inyo or Mono counties at 10 acres.
Wow.
Let that sink in for a second.
Wow.
So supporting agriculture in this region, supporting food systems is really an important part of what we do. And really growing projects like Blue Heron Farm is a really important priority when we think about the agricultural sector. They're doing some really cool work thinking about year-round farming in a high desert environment where it snows. So it's just really, really cool work. Go ahead and roll slide. The Bishop Pike Food Sovereignty Program. So one part that I haven't mentioned up to this point is the tribal engagement portions of our work. We really look to leverage those partnerships with regional tribal entities to really promote equity throughout the region. So you can go ahead and roll slide. Oops, we're missing another slide, Sophia.
I know.
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
So the Bishop Pike Food Sovereignty Program really leans into that regenerative food system mindset, that whole food system mindset, that we grow the food for the people that live in this region. So not only does that keep good, healthy food and on the plates of people that want to eat it, but it keeps the money local, right? A big part of what this region suffers is that every time that Cisco truck pulls up to the restaurant, that money leaves our region. Those people don't live and work here. They do not pay taxes here. They do not raise their children here. So a big part of these food sovereignty and food systems projects are really to keep the money local, keep the money in region, support our economic prosperity and our growth. A really cool program, and we work with a number of other food sovereignty programs, including the Chicken Ranch Rancheria, and does Twalmy have one? I know Twalmy's working.
Yeah, working to sustain funding for that program.
So we're working on a number of different initiatives with tribal partners around food sovereignty. All right, last part, I'm just gonna kind of run through this. You can just kind of click through it as I talk. The one thing that was really missing when I came into this role was the ability to attract businesses. It stumped me why we hadn't done any business attraction initiatives for this region. We don't have any guide. We don't have any public information officer to tell everyone how great the Central Sierras are. So in the past couple months, I worked to develop this business attraction pitch deck to kind of go alongside these initiatives that we've been working on that really highlights why you should locate your business here. So tourism recreation, let's be frank, we are a tourism and recreation based economy. A lot of our dollars flow through tourism. So just kind of highlight some of our prime tourism locations, right? These are things that people may not be aware of. Go ahead and roll slide. Housing, as we know, is an issue, and workforce housing has become a priority. That is no more prevalent than here in Calaveras County with the Habitat for Humanity project. We're really, really excited to see where that goes to support workforce housing for the region. Also things that we're looking for throughout the region. Policy is also an important part of business attraction. So there are several areas within our counties in the region that really do support business attraction. Things like opportunity zones, Title 17 in Tuolumne County that streamlines permitting and allows multiple uses. Really just kind of some important stuff to convey to potential businesses that are looking to locate in this region. Go ahead and roll. And then this is kind of my motto for the Central Sierras, like we have the land, right? You just have to come find the opportunity. Tuolumne County, 75% public land. Calaveras County, the opposite, right? So what Tuolumne County lacks, Calaveras County has, and that's kind of the narrative that I'm trying to create is the rising tide lifts all ships, right? If a business goes and locates in Calaveras County, that's going to raise the economic prosperity for Tuolumne County, and on and on and on. So really kind of highlighting the nexus within this region and promoting regional economic prosperity. Okay, I'm done. I did my best imitation of an auctioneer. This is something Sophia has seen me do many times, take like an hour's worth of presentation and condense it down into 20 to 30 minutes. Happy to entertain any questions.
Does council members have any questions?
Do you guys have business cards in there?
I have a question regarding workforce housing. Is there any way that you are or can support the Habitat for Humanity project? I know as they start going vertical, they're going to need help.
Yes. There is a long answer to that, and without kind of again going into the weeds, let's connect offline and I'll kind of give you a more succinct explanation.
Morgan is here.
Morgan is here.
Thank you for the coverage.
Hey, Morgan. Nice to meet you. Yeah, so there are ways that we can help support that project through a multitude of different ways. We can talk about education, we can talk about policy, we can talk about streamlining, kind of getting over those permitting hurdles if there are any, and then actually helping to support the workforce to get into that housing, right? So I think the most important part of workforce housing is getting the people that need that housing the most in there. So being the Workforce Development Board, we work with our workforce. So we'll connect more offline, but I have a more detailed answer for you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council?
No, I'll give you a call, 'cause I'm supposed to be on this.
Yeah.
This community
You
study.
are.
Yes,
You're a new rep, that's right.
yeah. So I'd love to connect and just kind of,
Shoot me an email. We look forward to seeing you at the board meeting.
And is Kathy Galena still on there? Is she a representative of Calaveras County? Okay, great.
And
Ben Stopper is our supervisor that represents, okay.
Ben and Kathy are.
Just want to make sure we Calaveras have good representation there.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Great.
Yeah, and we work alongside them regularly.
Good.
Yeah, so regular community.
And are you doing this presentation for the supervisors as well?
So you guys are actually our last stop.
Okay.
Sophia and
Last but
I.
not least.
This is exactly, most important in fact.
save the best for last.
That's exactly
There we
right,
go.
Kara. We have been to all 5 boards of supervisors throughout the region, as well as the Sonora City Council giving this same presentation. So, like Sophia said, education is a really important component. We've been around since 1976, but only really in the last year and a half or 2 years has the trajectory of the Economic Development District kind of taken off in awareness and scope. So we will continue to do this. The idea is to do this biannually, come every 6 months, give you guys updates, let you know what's going on, how you can get engaged.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions from the public present?
Where's your office at? Where are you based out of?
So Motherlode Job Training has offices in all 4 counties that we serve. Our primary location is at 197 Mono over in Sonora.
Above the Safeway. Above-
It's
Back and say
grocery outlet.
Yeah.
grocery outlet.
Yeah, we're right above the grocery outlet. But
Plus safer.
There was a Safeway a long time ago.
we have a location here in Calaveras and San Andreas. We have a location in Jackson. We have a location in Maryland.
And we are increasing our outreach efforts to be physically present in the counties that we're not seated in as well. So we're going to try and get out here as more.
Any other questions from the public? Anyone online? Michelle?
No questions online.
Well, thank you very
Thanks,
much. It was
Yeah,
very
thank you.
informative and encouraging.
Especially for the young ones.
Thank you.
Yes.
Youth entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Thank you.
Calaveras future.
Before I move to public comment, I just again want to welcome all of you here. Again, it's always good to see a packed house. And I'm assuming all of our students are from Mrs. Dragmanovich's leadership. Well, welcome.
The last chance before the end of the semester.
And the semester. We wish you the best on your finals that I know are coming up shortly. So welcome all of us, all of you. Okay, we're moving on to item 9, public comment. The public may address the council on any item of public interest not otherwise on the agenda that is within the jurisdiction of a city. No action may be taken. Matters to be addressed may be referred to city staff or placed on a subsequent meeting agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes per person. If anybody would like to talk to us about an item not on the agenda, please stand up and state your name and go ahead, sir.
My name's Scott Rhodes. Been here in Angels Camp for about 19 years. I'm just here to see if, I heard there was some monies that were found for road repair for Angels Camp. And I've been patiently waiting for the road to be repaired in front of my house for quite some years. And that's why I'm here.
So where do you live, sir?
On 77 Bush Street, Extension. It's a little tiny street, 2 homes.
And make sure that you connect with Steve Williams before you leave so that we can get your name and information and Steve can keep in touch.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Hello, everyone. Gretel Tiscornia. It has come to my attention that we have $36,000 roughly in the TOT taxes that we collect And I would like to ask that some of that money be used directly for downtown in the form of replacing the awnings that are in front of buildings down there. There are 7 awnings. There are 2 large ones, 1 medium, and 4 small ones. They are in terrible shape. They are a direct representation of our town when people come in. I think that the awnings could just be colored. They don't have to have the business name on them in case businesses change. But I think that that would be a great use of that tax because it is a tourist-based tax and it would really give our town a facelift without spending a huge amount of money. So I'd like to see if you guys could vote on that. There is a company out of Sonora that I have used many times, and they would be willing to replace the awnings. We don't really have to replace the frames. We may have to replace 1 or 2 frame pieces, but the frames are in good shape. So it would literally just be the awnings, but I think it would make a huge difference without spending a lot of money. And being that that money is for tourism, it would be very beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve? Thank you.
I have one. Gretel, I have one question.
Oh, sorry.
Since it's
Oh,
June,
am I
the new
supposed to ask?
spokesperson for the downtown
Yes,
business.
oh, yes, I am, yes.
Oh, that's what this is.
Touch base with Steve on that and see what we can do.
Yes,
Thank you
and
very
I
much.
would absolutely take lead on it. If I had to get multiple bids or do whatever, I would be willing to go to the business property owners. I would be willing to get them to sign off on it. I would be willing to totally take the lead on that and get it done, like, right now.
It's on
Thank
record
you,
now.
thank you.
Okay.
Alvin,
Girls, students, questions?
Thanks, Gretel.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public comment?
Hello, my name is Katrina Fry here on behalf of Angels Camp Business Association this evening. I just wanted to give the council a quick update on our holiday events that we have going on. Very successful Bows and Boughs event yesterday. We were actually in partnership with the Bret Hart FFA this year. We're looking forward to collaborating with them more next year as well. It provides great volunteer opportunities for them, get their hours in and whatnot. We do have our holiday parade coming up this weekend. It is on Saturday. Thank you to the city for coordinating the road closure and whatnot that we have coming. We have about 50 plus participants this year, so we're expecting a very good parade. So that's all I have to update you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Anyone online, Michelle?
No comment online.
Okay, hearing none, we'll close public comment. What? Oh, no, sure.
Hi, Nate Young. There's a lot of vacant buildings downtown, and I know there was kind of an effort by you guys, I believe, if I remember correctly, to push the owners to possibly open up to get businesses in. Was there any progress for that?
Actually, ask for an update. It's coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we will Steve?
Yes, I will provide an update.
An update on the ordinance.
Yeah, I can, just briefly, that there was an ordinance passed. There are fines associated, and then I will be providing the council with an update on city staff's progress on that.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Anyone online, Michelle?
No comment online.
Okay, well, thank you all for expressing those comments. We're moving on to item number 10, consent. We have one item, draft minutes. Does any council member like to pull this item? Hearing none, any public present for discussion? Anyone online? Michelle, would you like to pull this
No
item?
comment online.
Okay, we'll bring it back for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Any discussion from the public? Anyone online, Michelle?
No.
Hearing none, roll call.
Behill.
Aye.
Sharado.
Aye.
Shemente.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Brolio.
Aye.
All right. Moving on to item number 11, action items. Item A, Resolution 25-100, approving task order 30 to the agreement with Dewberry Engineers and Company for the Vallecito Road sewer replacement project, construction management inspection, and engineering services during construction, and authorizing the interim city administrator to execute the task order. Steve?
Thank you, mayors and council members. Before you tonight is a request to consider resolution 25-100. As you will recall, we engaged with a bidding process in September of this year for the next phase of our sewer replacement plan. We started on Booster Way. Once that segment of sewer had been replaced, the next segment is Vallecito, which takes it right down this road into the parking lot. The award for the second phase of the project was awarded to Sutton Enterprises. It has a 180 calendar day completion time. The notice to proceed was issued yesterday, December 1st. That project is due to be completed by May 29th. So Dewberry, Dave Richard is here to answer any questions that you have, but Dewberry essentially has entered into an agreement with the city to provide certain engineering services, including water and wastewater, and they developed the engineering plans necessary to replace this sewer pipe. So now that we are in the actual construction phase, we need a task order to that original agreement for engineering services to provide management oversight, daily inspections or weekly inspections if needed, and additional engineering services. The amount requested for this task order is $183,000. You'll recall that the project had a $1,382,475 price tag associated with it. I've consulted with our finance director, and the $183,000 request for this task order can be accomplished within the established budget for the project. So we're requesting no additional funds. It's just authorization to execute the task order. As I mentioned, Dave Richard from Dewberry is here if you have any specific questions about this resolution. But other than that, I am available to answer any questions you have.
I did have a couple questions I'd already put down. In the agenda, it said January to April. Now it's May 29th, you're thinking would be the completion for it?
I'm sorry, on the agenda?
Yeah, when I was looking at the paper, when I was looking through it, the project was 180 days. It was January to April. I saw that somewhere.
Yes, so what that means is contractually, the start date for the project began today, and finish, if they take 180 days, would be at the end of May. We actually believe that most of the work is going to be done between January and April. So that's why you see that, or reference to kind of a shorter window for the construction than that. It takes time for them essentially to get geared up, to be mobilized and that. And then ultimately, that construction period when they're actually working out here on the road is probably is likely between January and the end of April.
Okay, I was just worried with frog jump. I know that that area gets super crazy, and then I was also thinking if this highway is also.
We're going to talk about that.
We're talking about that next.
That's an agenda item.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah. So, but in any event, that's part of the thought process in setting a timeline for this project.
You know, one of the things for the public to hear is like, we're spending $1 million. Well, when Alvin and Caroline were on the council prior to, and Gretel, we passed a new 218, and that 218 established our water rates at an amount that allowed us to collect almost $20 million. And a year and a half ago, we allocated $10 million to some capital improvement projects, and you've heard some of them. This is our fourth one now.
Yeah,
I think so. I mean, we've done Booster Way, we did the loop of Mark Twain, we did Purdy Road, and now we're doing the Vallecito. So we're actually spending the money that we collected. There were a number of reasons why we couldn't move forward with the projects until recently, but we are moving forward. So that's for everyone to understand. We are now diligently being good stewards of the dollars that we've collected, and we're moving forward to improve and enhance our water and wastewater collection system.
We've been very successful over the last 2 years in bringing these projects online. We finished early on our projects and that. We finished within budget. And we're proposing the same team that's been successfully delivering those projects to continue the role here on Vallecito. We are an extension of city staff. We work closely with city staff through this work. We're your representative on site to make sure that the things that are in the plans and that they're built the way that have been approved by the city and that. So, and we've worked with this contractor before, Sutton Enterprises, and we've met with them already, and our scope is based on those discussions with the contractor. We're not sort of guessing at what it's going to take. We've had very specific discussions as to the January to April kind of timeframe and the level of observation or administration that are required during that time.
Thank you. Any other comments from the council? Any comments from the public present?
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Hi. I'd like to know, is this the same sewer project that's gonna extend out to Park Avenue? I know you and I had spoke one time.
We have. That's the next one.
We need to do, would you please step up to the mic and state your name and ask your question? So we all can.
Lorena Darby, and I'm curious if this project is the one to involve Park Avenue also.
Thank you. Now, Dave?
Yes.
Dave, like a tennis player.
You remember me.
Yes, you were a very nice guy.
So we are sequentially working our way downstream on the main trunk sewer for the community in that. And the next project is the project that we're getting funded through, are hoping to finalize our funding through FEMA. That's the next project that is after the our project that's currently before us in that. The easement that we're looking to acquire for a property is a key element of the next project. And that's, as you say, that is we're in the final process of getting our approvals and our financial agreement with FEMA on that work and that. And that's as I say, I keep saying the next project, but it's the next step in upgrading the system as we go along.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the public present? Any questions from folks online?
No questions online.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a motion?
I'll second.
Tie goes to the winner over here.
Okay. Caroline went on first. Caroline, any other discussion from the council?
Nope.
Discussion from those here present? Anyone online? Roll call, please.
It's Behill.
Aye.
Sharado.
Aye.
Shemente.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Brolio.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Item 11B, Vallecito Sewer Project Traffic Management Plan. Dave.
Michelle, could we pull up that? There you go. Okay. So, Council, Mr. Mayor, City Council, you have this graphic in your package, and this is the an illustration of the traffic management plan, the proposed traffic management plan for the sewer rehabilitation work on Vallecito Road. You can see three colors on this exhibit in that represents the 3 stages of construction that will occur on Vallecito Road. We broke this down into these 3 stages of construction because it allows your project delivery team to better oversee the contractor and actually, at the end of the day, keep the traffic impacts to a minimum. As I say, you've got 3. You've got a green, you've got a magenta or a blue, and then you've got what I'll call a purple. The first stage of construction is the purple stage of construction. And during this stage of construction, which begins through Tryon Park and then works its way down along Vallecito Road, as I said, we start from the top and work to the bottom. Generally, construction during this period is restricted to the shoulder. Work within the shoulder on the creek side of Vallecito Road. So there you'll see K-rail along that area, and the construction essentially will be separated from the traffic. We'll be able to maintain two-way traffic through that reach of Vallecito's during that timeline. Now, it will be a construction zone, so the traffic speeds will be reduced. But in essence, during that first month and a half or 2 months of construction, we're at the upper end of Vallecito Road, and we're maintaining the 2 lanes of traffic. When we move along Vallecito Road toward Main Street and that, we get to that second area in the blue. Now, what's happening there is our sewer is shifting from the shoulder, on the creekside shoulder, it's shifting over to the other side of the road. And during that time, we're actually taking the old sewer out and putting the new sewer back in that area. Because we're shifting across the road, at that point, we're going to have to restrict traffic during construction to 1 lane. And so it involves flaggers at either end and intermittent letting cars go, sequentially in that regard and that. During that time, recognizing that Vallecito Road is such a key transportation or a key element in moving people around the community, particularly if they're having to bypass Main Street, construction will be limited. Construction won't start during that time, during that period until 9 a.m. We'll try to, in other words, we're trying to avoid that time when everyone is trying to get their children to school and to work, etc.
And we don't want to do overnight just because it's residential, is that why?
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. So also during that time, the road will be plated at night so that, the circulation, the 2-way traffic or the 2 lanes of traffic will be restored at the end of each work day. Once we get past and we could get down to the last part of the project, the green, we again shift the sewer back across the street over to the parking area. We again will then we'll keep the construction within the parking area. Again, they'll see K-rail put up and the 2 lanes of traffic will be maintained during that timeline. However, we also have some water line work that we're doing down at that end of the project and that water line work is closer to the shoulder across from the creek. When we do that water line work, we're going to shift the traffic. We've still maintained 2 lanes of traffic, but we're going to shift it into the parking area so that we can still maintain as I say, the circulation through that, but we've moved it over to the parking area in that. Now, during that period of time, at the latter part of the project, and this is, we're talking the March, April timeline and that, parking will not have parking in the parking area because we're going to be building the sewer through there. So this is the traffic management plan that's part of the plans that Sutton Enterprises will implement in that. There may be times that when we have to reconnect laterals that are coming across the street, we may end up again going back to 1 lane of traffic while that is occurring. But any of that work, well, all of this work, we'll go through a notification process with the local neighborhood. We'll be sending out notices to explain what's happening here on the road and that. We'll be providing knocking on doors or putting doorknob hangers to let people know at least 48 hours in advance if there are going to be any impacts to restrictions on them being able to get out of their driveway, anything of that nature and that. And as I say, we'll start with a neighborhood meeting similar to what we did on Purdy Road and what we did on Mark Twain. We'll have a neighborhood meeting where the contractor will send out a notice and people will be able to meet the contractor and understand better what his plan of attack is.
So Dave, do you think that 3rd phase will be done before Broad Jump, so that we'll have that parking lot back?
I think that's a really good target. I
You
think
did
that's a
say-
really good, yeah.
For the parade.
We've-
Yeah.
Unless I say we, and it really is a we, the delivery team, the team and the contractor, unless we run into some issues in that contractors, we had our pre-construction meeting today. and
I
he's
saw you
very-
guys out there.
He's very confident, and we like that confidence in that he's gonna get this done early. And so I think that, maybe becomes part of our theme, our goal is in our weekly meetings is where are we vis-a-vis
Right.
the project weekend?
Well, and him being local, I'm sure he knows how important that is. And I dipped him in, I was reading over, it was very thoughtful, reading the stages of which you guys were going in, also starting at 9 a.m. I did see that was the hope, is to start at 9 a.m. because it will, especially as we just got out of this traffic nightmare, to get some kind of breathing to go, and then thinking of them both coming in around the same time. I really appreciated the fact that wouldn't start till 9 because, like I said, a lot of us did bypass. And also, it only seemed like it was that stage 2, if I think it was, that really had the most traffic control area. The other ones seemed like the K rails were going to be moving it. So the only thing that stressed me out, because anytime you're pushing into fair, it's kind of a scary thought because delays happen and fair is crazy.
I understand. I think that the stage construction in the blue really requires the contractor to have the greatest flexibility. Obviously we're running past the fire station.
Right.
We've absolutely got to maintain the ability of our firefighters to be able to get out of the station and that. So that whole, we have driveways, we have other streets through that area and that, and so it will be, we're going to, that's where our construction management team, our inspector really comes into play, is working closely with the contractor to make sure all of that everyone has been notified and that, that things are implemented the way that they're planned.
What is the timeline on that blue phase?
Well,
Or phase 2?
Yeah, so
It looks to be the shortest one, but maybe it's the longest and most connections, or is it just out of curiosity?
we're thinking, and this is your engineer,
Right.
this isn't the contractor in that, but we're thinking that we're gonna be down in that neck of the woods in February.
In like a 2-week?
No, it's probably the better part of a month.
That's what I'm just, okay, perfect.
It's about,
So about
we're
a
thinking that the purple, and the green are each 2 months, and that the blue is 1.
Okay.
And so, but we, as I say, if we, contractor he's worked in this area before, he just feels as if he's got plenty of time, and he's motivated, the sooner he can get something done, I don't mean to say he makes more money, but it just gets done.
Right.
It does.
Thank you.
I have a question on the start time. So this Friday, or this Saturday, we have our parade. I want to make sure that the K rails aren't going up
No,
this week, right? Okay,
No.
because we just need maximum amount of parking. And then my other just note here that I had was let Habitat know that she's sitting here because they utilize that parking lot. So when the time comes where you're going to be putting the K rails up and like rerouting traffic, just make sure we let our local businesses know. She's sitting here.
Scott, any questions? Any other questions? Thank you, Dave, for our conversation this morning. I think, the comments I'm getting are for folks who live right off the highway. How am I gonna get out of my driveway? What you're suggesting, I hope that you do, and it's gonna mitigate some of their concerns and fears. So I appreciate that.
we were very successful. We learned a lot on Mark Twain and keeping people informed as the project went along. That we translated that or we leveraged that into Purdy Road, and many of the, on a smaller scale, many of the issues that people are highlighting in terms of access to that, we were able to deal with like zero complaints of that. And so we're taking that to a higher level this time through.
Okay. Any comments from the public present? Please, if you have a comment, please go to the podium, state your name. Or a question. Thank you. Good luck on your finals.
Thank you.
Have to stay somewhere.
An hour.
Okay, it's Tricia Harkins. I live in Angels. My only question is rain days, bad weather days. Is there an allowance for that?
Yes.
That's-
Yes, it's, yeah, it's been raining a lot. Yeah, it's, yes, there's allowance for that, and that is taken into account in that 180 calendar day.
So, Dave, any other comments from the public? Anyone online?
No comments.
So, the overlap between the Caltrans project and your project may not be as long as anticipated or people are thinking then.
Correct.
Because
Okay.
if they don't start until rain season ends,
Yeah.
and you're
March,
finishing
April.
up.
Yeah,
Well, and not to mention, if it's just that little phase, it's
Yeah.
also just one lane.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and if,
That
knock
makes
on
sense.
wood, the contractor gets done early,
Early, yeah.
that
Right.
we potentially avoid any overlap.
That'd be great.
Then it's taken to learn how to run projects from this house.
Right.
Maybe they'll work in the rain. I don't know.
100%.
All right,
Work in the winter.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Dave.
And thanks for your due diligence and understanding our concerns. I appreciate that, Dave. Okay.
Work in the winter.
All right, moving on to item number C, Resolution 25-101.
We don't have to, it's just a presentation.
It's just a presentation, yes. Authorized release of construction documents for bidding for water meter replacement project Phase 1 and Phase 2, CIP WDP 3, and authorized purchase of Phase 2 smart water meters. Dave, or Chris, or tag team?
We're here. It's time to put the water meters in and buy some more. I don't mean to be flippant like that, but that's kind of where we are here.
Bless you.
We went through and we installed water meters as part of the Mark Twain project. We had a few water meters that we put in on Purdy Road. We've worked very closely with Chris's staff on putting together a plan that now gets us to putting all of the water meters in, basically over 2 phases. We've got a bunch of water meters that are looking for a home, and this is the mechanism that we use. We've laid things out, again, working with Chris and our experience so far on putting these in, and so this is the next step, is to move forward with releasing documents for the city to retain a contractor to do all of this work. I think we're going to get, the dollars that are in here in terms of an engineer's estimate is based on our experience on Mark Twain, a small scale experience. I just have a real feeling that we're going to get really good bids.
Good.
This is work that can be done during the winter.
Sure.
Sure. It's a good time to put a project out like this and that. And so we do need to buy the next round of meters, but that's always been understood that at some point we're going to need the other half, basically the other half of that. So this is that. Chris is standing here. He's really the mastermind behind all this. And then Michelle is the one that making sure that at the end of the day, everything comes together in that. So I can answer some questions regarding actually putting this out to bid, but the harder questions, I can't. Yeah, so.
Any questions from council? So I'm assuming they're battery operated,
Yes.
Yeah.
and the length, so,
I can't give you an exact length, but it's years of time.
Okay.
And they are replaceable.
and then the other thing, for Michelle's sake and her staff, I remember 2.5 years ago when we talked about this, we talked about some of our meters which are old, and so they may not be reading water usage correctly,
Yeah, mechanical meters over time will slow down, and basically they always fail in the customer's favor. So when you replace it with a new meter, yes, their bills may change a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to be astronomical, but it does happen.
And I think it's just something that, Michelle, you and your staff should be aware of, and maybe something the council can consider if you see that to be a trend.
Definitely, we
Consider.
do an analysis every month to month to look for a
Right.
change. And so that's definitely something we can also put on invoices, letting people know that they may see a change when their meter's swapped out. But so far with the smart meters that we have put in, it hasn't been that much of a difference,
Okay.
so.
And how is that going, the collection of data from the smart meters, Chris, and things?
We haven't started yet because the software isn't completely
Okay.
set up yet.
Okay,
So as soon as we get that done, which we are working with Michelle's team and her new software in City Hall, once it's all set up in there, we will get the tablets for our meter readers to start using and then we'll test it.
You want to give the backstory on that?
sure, you have a backstory?
No, you got it.
Oh,
On CIP projects,
Oh, yeah.
and this will save us time and money, and
go ahead. I mean,
shorten up days for guys going out and collecting manually. They just, yeah.
So basically what happens month to month, it takes my whole crew a minimum of 3 days to go out and read every meter manually. Then they have to go back out and do rereads, door hangers, shut-offs, turn-ons. This is gonna cut that time in over half. I mean, it would probably take less than 1 day for 2 guys to go out and do the meters.
And it's really just a drive-by, right?
It will, and that's exactly how it works. So we put an antenna on one of the work trucks and they just drive, they connect that antenna to their tablet and they drive through and it's basically like playing Pac-Man. As soon as all the red dots disappear, all the meters are red.
Ms. Bekmanovich.
I was just curious because I have a duplex that was built in 1908 and I have to pay a double water bill because it's a duplex, even though it's 2 1-bathrooms. Don't get me started on that one. I know you guys hear it all the time. But I wanted to put in a separate meter and the city told me it was gonna be $20,000. So is there a way that I can now get a smart meter on for both of those so I could actually know how much water each person is using?
If there is an existing meter, they're going to be replaced with smart meters.
Can I make it a double though, is what I'm saying? Like it's not a, how do I explain that? It's not a duplex
Are you
meter.
asking for a second meter?
Correct.
It's situational. It depends on if the service line has been split already for something, because we can only split it so many times. If it's already been split, then you're gonna have to get a separate connection, which means going all the way to the main and getting a new service.
Okay. I'm just confused since I have to pay double anyways, but I don't have a double meter. So I was just like, well, now's a chance that maybe I can get the double meter since I have to pay double anyway.
Like I said, it's situational.
Yeah.
If you put in a work order through our website, I can come take a look at it and see if that's a possibility.
Yeah, because when I went, they were like, oh yeah, the house was built in 1908, there's no way. And I was like, okay. And I'm not gonna go into this whole thing, but I do pay double sewer and double water hookups. But I only have 1 meter.
That doesn't make any sense. Michelle?
It's
maybe
your
you can
charge,
work with
the
Tyra.
water- Yeah, we can look at that.
Well,
and see.
okay, so we can, because that doesn't,
Double sewer is by unit,
Right.
so that would make sense.
Right.
But the water flat rates should be by meter number.
Yeah, but they charge me too because it's a quote unquote duplex.
In our system, there's no way to do that, but we can talk.
yeah, so you call Michelle?
Yeah.
Figure it out.
We would have to have 2 meters.
Yeah.
We could owe you a refund.
Yeah, right.
And sandwiches.
Yeah, no, I went through this 10 years ago because I'm like, hey, since you're charging me double, can I at least see how much each tenant's paying? And they charge me. They're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be $20,000 for a hookup.
Okay, any other questions from council regarding the smart meters installation and additional expense to purchase? Any additional comments from the public?
Are you charging the public for this or is this to the city?
No, we're installing them.
That's what I was thinking. No, that's great. I think it's
And
gonna save lots of
Tyra, we're installing them because it's a labor saver for our
Yeah,
workforce.
absolutely. Like PG needed.
Last year I did the calculation, and if you look at it, it's about $60,000 or $70,000 a year in labor cost.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a huge win for everyone.
I have a dumb question, Chris. I was not here for the first round. Does water get disrupted when the,
It will for each individual, but it won't be for a long extended period of time. It'd be pretty short, like an hour.
oh, okay.
So part of the thing is, again, notification. The contractor goes out, and generally will know for the next week, these are where he's gonna be working in that, and so that everyone is notified at that point. That's one of the things that we require.
With door hangers or with what? Because if you're notifying owners, then the renters might not know.
Correction, it's the people who are living there.
Okay, great.
Yes, we'll probably be going door to door to
Okay.
notify when that happens.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just curious, these have automatic shut off and turn on for people that, selling house, buying house, stuff like that. Do you have to manually come back to them?
We'd still have to go manually shut each individual house off. Yeah.
So, and each meter has, thank you for asking that question. So if you have a water leak or whatever, you can still turn the meter off?
We would have to come out and turn.
Oh, you have to come out?
Yes.
So we can't, the homeowner couldn't do it any longer?
So typically when we install meters, we do put a customer shut-off valve so the customer can access and shut it off if.
Right, it's on their side of the meter.
It's on their side.
It's on their side of the meter, okay, you're right.
Yes.
You're right. It's on our side of the meter that we can shut it off.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that
Yeah,
makes
because
sense.
when your pool pump blows.
Yes, I know that.
Or your upstairs bathroom is flooding.
Yeah, to be able to turn the water off right
So,
now.
It's not gonna
Yeah,
change anything
yeah,
on our
that's
side.
really. Been there.
I've done it twice in different things.
Any other comments from the public?
Chris, can you come and turn my water off? I'm flooding the whole neighborhood. I'll be there in 2 hours. Okay.
My name's Kate Darby, and I just wanted to wish you guys luck. I worked with CCWD when they swapped out their smart meters, and I know that they have a larger customer base. Good luck. I think the benefits are huge. There were a lot of customer leaks that went undetected for years, and maybe it was a lack of proper communication, but when the customers did receive those bills, true-up bills, it was, a lot of them were in the thousands of dollars.
I remember that.
And my heart's racing right now, it was very difficult. I think it's a huge benefit. The system, my question is, what system is the customer service using? And I'm just hoping, maybe, I'm assuming the entities have been in contact with each other and maybe
Yes.
just learning from trial and error. But just good luck with all that. And yeah, it's a huge project. There's benefits. But the infrastructure here is old, and there's going to be customers that are going to find leaks that have been occurring for quite some time and not being charged any water use. And so that's just my personal experience in the customer service side when we swapped out the meters. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So to answer your question, yes, we did talk to CCWD and quite a few other entities that have done this, and based on some of those discussions, we ended up choosing Badger meters because they seem to be the most reliable. And so that answers that question. As far as truing up bills, that's not my department, that would be Michelle. So I don't have an answer for how to do that.
And would you be able to tell that too with the fact that, like, if my water bill is $150, $200, and then all of a sudden the smart meter gets there and it's like $500? I mean,
If
wouldn't
it's
that
an
be
astronomical difference, we'll know. Right?
Because you do those,
Oh.
you look at that, if someone's off the charts, like crazy.
Oh, yeah, we actually have a report where the system does the analysis for us and gives us a list of meters that are acting out of not being normal.
Sorry, can you tell me what?
We use AccuFund software, we just converted to it in January we did half the system, but we did the other half in July. Our water utility system.
It's not the one that we started off
Tyler?
with, so yes.
Yeah, we interviewed them and chose something else.
Okay.
So one of the things, and it's a very, very apt comment in that, but one of the things that we've looked at over the years is how much water does Steve make versus how much water do we bill? And obviously if Steve's making way more water than we're billing, what you're talking about, that discrepancy is going to go away. And so that difference has not been that great over the years in that. So while it might be it's certainly something that you have to watch in that, it's not like this, we're expecting this huge increase in the billing because it's been generally close as to what he makes versus what Michelle collects for. Anyway.
That's good to know. Any other comments from the public? Any other comment, anybody online? I'm sorry, what?
Hang on a second, we're gonna vote.
Oh,
No comments
any,
online.
okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 25-109.
I'll second.
Okay, I feel like I'm in a tennis match. All right. So there's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion from council? Discussion from those present? Anyone online?
No questions online?
Thank you, Dave. Roll call?
Yes, Behill,
Aye.
Sharado,
Aye.
Shemente,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Romeo.
Aye.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
And thank you, Chris.
Merry Christmas if we don't see you.
Yes. Moving on to item 10D,
How about a bio
resolution
break?
25-90, awarding a permanent local housing allocation grant to Habitat for Humanity Calaveras and authorizing the city administrator to prepare and execute a grant agreement with H4H. Amy.
Mayor and council members, we were asked by 2 local agencies to try to secure a permanent local housing allocation from the state, which we did. And then we held a open request for people to submit proposals. We received 1, and we're asking you to award $240,656 in PLHA funding to Habitat for Humanity. Basically, activity 2 includes development of ownership housing, which coincidentally, Habitat for Humanity is doing and did propose to spend some of this money in pursuit of that. And their executive director, Mark Gache, is here tonight in case you'd like to ask any specific questions about their proposal. Otherwise, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Being one of the readers, I was very impressed with the grant and the expertise and the time it must have taken to develop that plan. And so congratulations to you and your organization.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions from council?
I have none.
Questions from me?
Not a question.
You have a, go stand right up there.
Jesse Gibbs, the real estate community. I just want to commend you guys and hope that you move this forward because being part of the state director for the California Association of Realtors, housing is a crisis in our state. You're one of the few areas that has really, especially in our region, as I go to all the state meetings, that has taken on a project like this and really pushing forward and being so open to it. So as the real estate community, yes, they're going to do it, but we need those entry-level homes of workforce. So kudos to you guys and thank you for taking this grant and looking at it.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. Any other comments from the public? We got Tyra started.
I know, sorry.
You got to stand up.
But you gotta have your
stand up, Tyra.
You let you
Yes,
slide
you do.
last time.
You have to-
No, I love this, except for I just want to make sure that it's actually going to be for locals first, because I've seen this happen in Arnold and a lot of other places where it doesn't actually give housing to the locals first. So you have people coming from all kinds of areas. I've seen it happen numerous times in numerous communities. So I love Habitat for Humanity. I think it's great, and we do have a housing crisis, but I'm wondering if there is a way to actually vet the people coming in to make sure that they're actually for our community first, as opposed to people moving from Stockton or other areas.
Morgan?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. Yes. I will say a majority of the interests that we have in this development have come locally. We are also bound by equal housing opportunity law, which unfortunately means that we are not allowed to discriminate based on zip code. But a factor that we like to incorporate with that, there's 3 bases for qualification for a Habitat homeowner. So the first one is ability to qualify for an affordable mortgage. So I think that's a piece that's really important to say because these homes are not given away. They have to qualify. The second piece is that they have to be willing to partner with Habitat. And so what that means is that they're coming in to put actual work into their home, that they're doing actual work in the community, so they have to be involved in local community projects as well. And they have to attend classes that we have for financial education in the hopes that we can keep this sustainable for them 15 years down the line. But the last piece is that they have to demonstrate a need. So it has to make sense for them to have a home here. We have currently people that are traveling from out of county into the county to work. And so that is also an improvement for local businesses here, as well as bringing in tax dollars, bringing in many other things. So no, we would not be allowed to say you cannot apply if you are outside of Calaveras County. But I will say that, again, a majority of the people that are expressing interest are from Calaveras County that have signed up for it, so.
Thank you, Morgan.
Yeah.
And congratulations on your anonymous rate.
Thank you, yes, and also I just want to thank the city, starting with Scott E. Hill from his involvement with this project since 2018. This is on his back and his blood, sweat, and tears on this project, so I'm very grateful for the partnership that we've had since that, with the city agreement, with Amy and previous city councils, and also the current. You guys have been very supportive, and I am incredibly grateful for that. So thank you. I'm ready to build.
And we're ready to see him go up.
Yes. Yes.
Any other public comments? Anyone online?
No comments online.
Is there a motion to approve?
I got a couple questions for Morgan while I got her here.
Oh, okay.
This is a project I do hold dear to my heart. And when we got approved back then, there were a number of conditions. And I wanted to make sure that a lot of those conditions are going to be met as we go vertical. Are we using local suppliers for materials? Are we staying with the architectural integrity that was in the original document? That kind of thing, so that what was approved is what we're going to see.
Mm-hmm. Underground
utilities is very important, because that neighborhood is going to be beautiful. It's not going to be substandard housing. And I just want to make sure that what was proposed back in 2018-19 is what we're going to get.
Yeah. Let's give you a tour. Come out and check. Yes. All the underground is in. So currently we have 4 stormwater.
We can hear you, Melissa.
I'm not used to having to use a microphone. We have 4 completed stormwater detention basins that are across the property. We have all underground sewer and water and PG&E and comm lines underground completed. Streets, curb and gutter. The sewer lift station is currently in progress, and the park is in progress. Perimeter fencing is in progress. The street lights are in, and they look phenomenal. So we're really happy with that. And yes, overall, we're really thrilled with the way this has happened. As far as local contractors, so we've used Moyle, which is local-ish, as our major contractor over in Jamestown. And we have used John Allen for a lot of the concrete work that's out there, the retaining walls. We are using Alley, which is out of, I think, Sonora, for a lot of the landscape and park construction. So for the most part, yes. Ultimately, what I like to share on that too, though, is that we are not an economic development organization. We are in the business of making these affordable homes. So if we have to bid out for what makes the most sense for the homeowner, which is going to be the most impacted, then that's the decision we had to make. If we were close, if we were ballparkish, there's absolutely a preference for local.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions from council? Now we've gone to the public, no one online. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Is there a motion and a second? Any other discussion from those present? Anyone online?
Like all some questions.
No questions online.
No, keep going.
Okay.
No questions online.
No. Roll call.
Yes. Behill.
Aye.
Sharada.
Aye.
Shemente.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Brolio.
Aye.
Moving on to item E, Resolution 25-97. Thank you, Morgan. Good luck. Establishing the Greenhorn Creek LLD Commission as a commission of the City of Angels. Steve.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Before you is a request to consider Resolution 2597. Just for a brief background, the Greenhorn Creek Landscape and Lighting District was first formed in 1995 through a 218 process. That initial structure was dissolved and a new LLD, Landscape and Lighting District Number 2, was created, and that occurred around 2022. About the same time as the creation of the LLD2, a board was established amongst the residents to essentially take over, if not just assist, but really truly take over the day-to-day functions of the needs of that community, of that particular district. If a sidewalk needed to be repaired, if a street light needed to be replaced, if landscaping needs came up within that district, instead of the city staff dealing with those needs for that particular district for which additional taxes are collected, the residents themselves had a group of people that served on a board and reported to the city. However, it was not officially an extension of the city. In about October of this year, upon a request from the board, I reached out to our Risk Management Association to ensure that the members of that board who were doing work on behalf of the city were covered by the city's liability insurance, specifically errors and omissions insurance. And the initial response and the continued response that I've got from them and continue to get from them is because of the structure of that board and the unofficial nature in which it interacts with the city, they would not be covered under the city's insurance policy. So the staff was tasked with finding ways to fix it. And I believe it was your last council meeting, you directed staff to create an LLD commission through a resolution for the immediate need of reestablishing the work of that group. This resolution will then be followed up with an ordinance that will become a permanent part of our municipal code to permanently establish this commission in the local laws of this community. We have a very willing and motivated group of residents that very much want to continue their service within this district. And this is the first step in allowing them to do that by officially recognizing that board. Much like we recognize the Planning Commission, this would be the Greenhorn Creek LLD Commission. And by doing that, the insurance coverage would be provided through the city. So the request is to approve Resolution 2597, which officially establishes what was formerly the LLD Board as the LLD Commission of the city. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
So Steve, are you aware of any communication that has occurred for the residents of Greenhorn that the city is forming to help facilitate the continuation of the LLD? Do you know of any communication for all the residents?
I've been in communication with the board, but the actual residents themselves, I'm not sure if the board notified the residents. So what happened was when the board was notified that they weren't covered by the insurance at their November 6th meeting, at the LOD board's November 6th meeting, that committee officially dissolved itself. So I don't know if notification from that board went out to the residents or not. I've received a couple of phone calls from residents saying, in particular, there's a street light out, and who do I call now that the board doesn't exist to replace it? So the word got out, probably sporadically. So I hope that answers your question.
Will we advertise? Go ahead, Scott.
Well, the answer to my question is no. There has not been general information sent out to the
Does it change
the residents, but I'm wondering if it should, or most residents are aware of the LLD. They get billed on the tax bills every year. most are not probably aware that the LLD committee itself is dissolved. Although we did shut down the website for the most part, and we did direct all inquiries now to the city, and so we get.
It was in the paper too, Tori's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably public knowledge that that this is going on. At the last meeting, we talked about the remedies for it, so I think it's public knowledge. But I believe once the committee disbanded, they have not done anything as a committee. They're just kind of informally meeting.
Yeah, but the fact is, it is the responsibility of the city because we are the ones that collect those taxes to get those things done. The landscaping, the light replacements, the sidewalk repair. It's just in the past, we had this informal body of, residents that were willing to take on that work for us. So whether the board exists or doesn't exist, it's the responsibility of the city to get that work done.
So, but now that we're making this, I guess, legit or part of the city, do we have to advertise like planning commission, right? There's terms, we have to advertise it in 3 different things or whatever. Do we have to do that same as we're making this a resolution tonight? Do we have to incorporate that all into the same, put it in the post office, put it in the paper, put it on our Facebook page, all that kind of stuff?
What are the procedures for getting the committee started up again?
My plan is if you choose to approve this tonight, we will start that process tomorrow and we will treat it almost identically unless there's a reason not to, the way we treat the planning commission appointments in that we advertise it, we receive applications, we bring those applications to the council then chooses, I believe it's 5 or perhaps 7 members to serve on, I think it's 3-year terms on.
3-year terms.
Yeah, 3-year terms on. So my plan is to, unless I get legal advice otherwise, that I'm going to treat the recruitment for the election of the members to this board similar to how we treat the planning commission.
Do you have to be an assessed homeowner of the LLD in order to be on this commission?
Yes.
That was mine too. Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be restricted to the residents of Greenhorn.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And the only reason why I'm asking is so that the folks clearly understand that the city's acting as a facilitator. Nothing is going to change with the LLD. Our relationship is just to do what we've currently done, and forming a commission allows the LLD to continue doing what they've done in the past. That's
With insurance.
Takes that off.
well, yeah, the fact that they're insured now. Right, but I don't.
Extension of the city,
And
Right.
probably a city staff member will have to sit on the commission.
Right.
Right.
So the city, there's better communication between the LLD committee and the city.
Yeah, good, thank you for bringing that up. Much like our city planner, Amy serves as the staff member that either prepares or directs the agenda to be prepared, takes the minutes of the meeting, attends the meeting to act as a guide from the city, official representative of the city. The staff member won't be a voting member of the LLD board, but just like I'm here representing city staff and reporting to you, we will have a staff member at the LLD board meetings, just like we have Amy at the planning commission meeting, doing all of those things that are legally required to make this an official commission of the city.
And then what's the significance of having doing it by resolution versus ordinance? Are we doing both? Or are we gonna, what's the?
We are doing both. The significance of a resolution is that we can do it in a meeting. You told me last meeting to do it, we're doing it this meeting. In order to create an ordinance, there is a process in place because it becomes a law of the city, adopted into your municipal code, and there's public notices that have to take place. There's first readings, there's second readings, there's a time period after it's formally adopted. I believe it's a 30-day time period that it doesn't become effect until then. So if we were to just create an ordinance, we couldn't get this started until about March, April of next year. So this is a way by ordinance to get it started tomorrow and then follow it up with an ordinance in the future.
And the ordinance would give us more traction with the RMA. Is the reason to do that, to do both?
It's, in my opinion, it's not necessary to do the ordinance, but it's kind of like, bricklaying. It's just another layer that establishes this as something more than what it was before. I mean, by resolution, it makes it official, but when you put it into your municipal code, it's something that's much more difficult to argue against in terms of it being an official arm of the city.
Any other comments from council? Any comments from folks present? Anyone online?
No comments.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 25-97.
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion from council? Any from folks present? Anyone online?
No comment.
Roll call.
Behill.
Aye.
Sharado.
Aye.
Shemente.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Prolio.
Aye.
Moving on to item F, Resolution 25
Yes,
25-98, authorize the starting wage of Daniel Whitford at Plant, Whitford?
It's a mistake.
That's a mistake, okay. At Plant Operator 3, Step 5, Steve.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Council members, the last resolution for you to consider tonight is Resolution 2598. We have a very small but dedicated staff that works very hard in the city in all of our departments, and our Public Works Department is no exception. Our Public Works Department is essentially broken up into two divisions. We have Public Works that reads meters, as we talked about earlier, takes care of our parks, road issues, blowing leaves off the sidewalk downtown, all of the things that go along with that side of the department. A separate department is, separate division within that department is the Water and Wastewater Division. Within the Water and Wastewater Division, there is, Chris is your superintendent, and right below Chris is what we call a chief plant officer. And the type, style, and process of water and wastewater treatment that we have in the city requires a certain level and a very strict level of certifications through the state to be able to occupy that position. And that position is very difficult to attract because it takes so much time and grade and testing and expense, and lots of work goes into making yourself eligible to serve as a chief plant officer in a system like ours. Our chief plant officer resigned probably 3 months ago. So as soon as that individual resigned, we have been operating without a chief plant officer. And Chris, your superintendent, happens to have the certifications to fill in that role in the interim. We immediately started recruiting for a chief plant officer because there are a lot of reporting requirements. There's lots of regulatory issues that person has to comply with. We received no applications for anybody that meets the qualification of chief plant officer. Daniel Whitman meets all of the qualifications for chief plant officer, and he applied for the position with the exception of a wastewater grade 4 certificate, which he is eligible to get. He just needs to take the test to do it. So our plan, in consulting with your superintendent, Chris, is to overhire for the position of Plant Officer 3, which is one step below your chief, bring Daniel Whitman as a Plant Operator 3 so that he can get on board, get his orientation under his belt, learn our system, and also have a timeline in his mind that he can take that test to ultimately reach that chief plant officer position. He is a chief plant officer for a neighboring district right now that doesn't have the same process and equipment that we do, so he doesn't need that grade level 4 where he is now. But in order to attract him to come here, to try to meet his salary as best as possible, we are recommending that we bring him on as a Plant Operator 3, Step 5. Within our salary range, we have Step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 is the highest step. I don't have the authority to bring somebody on in a Step 5 within a position. I have the authority to bring them in Step 1, 2, or 3. And I think 3 would be good, but in an effort, again, to attract the best type of person and get him to even be interested in this position, I'm asking for your authority to bring him on as a Plant Operator 3, Step 5, with the hopes that within the coming months, sooner rather than later, he will get that last certificate that we can then promote him to the chief plant officer.
Which would be step 1.
Step 1, chief plant officer. So step 5, plant operator 3, there needs to be a 5% differential when you promote somebody. There is more than a 5% differential between plant operator step 3, step 5, and chief plant operator step 1. So when he is eligible to be promoted, he will be promoted to step 1 of chief plant officer.
Questions from council?
Yes. Oh, it's right here. I should have looked up.
You did it without even looking.
I was looking off into the sunset.
Thank you for that, that explanation.
Yes, thank
Yeah, I think especially given the difficulty in filling that role, this is a small dollar item. And I have no issues with it.
It makes us, sometimes we need to be competitive, especially with in those areas where it takes certifications. Any other comments from council?
No.
Public?
I know, I think it's great.
Michelle, anyone online?
No questions.
All right, we'll bring it back for a motion.
So
I'll second.
Been a motion and a second. Any other discussion from council? Anyone from those present? Anyone online?
Comment about something else?
No.
Okay.
no. You know the rules.
You know better. I forgot. Can I go back up there?
Questions online.
Okay, thank you. Roll call?
Yes, Behill.
Aye.
Sharado.
Aye.
Shemente.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
And Brando.
Aye.
My agenda says Woodford.
Yeah, one says Whitford, one says.
Yeah. Okay, we're moving on to item 12.
Can you raise your seat?
Information items.
No information.
No information items? Okay, we'll move on to item 13, admin report.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. In your packet is the monthly report. This is for the month of November. If Michelle, you'll scroll the other way just a little bit. I always put the significant ongoing projects on the first page to highlight our capital improvement projects because I know that's a priority of council. We can change, so this is November. As of December, we can change the current CIP project of Vallecito sewer line upgrade from material procurement, which means that Sutton was gathering the materials needed. As of yesterday, that status changes to construction. So starting with your next month's report, it'll be that same thing, but changed to construction. Again, our next project after that, somebody was asking about, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but she was asking about the Park Street. So that's the next CIP, which is the East Angels sewer line upgrade. And we expect to start that project in 2026 and complete it in 2027. Our down just a little bit, our 12-month noteworthy activity for the month of November. We had working with Caltrans to restore Highway 49 to regular traffic flow through the winter months, so we wouldn't have to deal with one-way traffic lights and cones in the road, so that was an accomplishment. We promoted Brent Hughes to Public Works Foreman. That took effect 2 days ago. And then we launched our Frog Bucks campaign 2 weeks before Black Friday. The rest of the report is in there. I'm not going to go department by department, but there's a lot of good work being done by all of your departments in the city. Code enforcement remains low in terms of active cases. There are 7 cases in the entire city that have code enforcement violations. I mentioned last month, that's down. When I first came here in July of 2024, I believe there were 53 open code enforcement cases. And Michael's done a great job of getting those down and keeping those down. The only other thing I want to note here is your fire department. Your chief was able to use his connections to procure 34 donated mobile radios from the San Jose Fire Department in an amount that would have cost us a little over $20,000 to get those radios. So there were radios that were just going to be surplus by that department. We were able to get them, which allows us to give each of our fire employees their own dedicated radio so they don't have to share. So that was a big win for us.
Do we use Columbia Communication?
We do.
And did those radios have to be reprogrammed, or?
They do, and one of the advantages to these radios in particular are these are field programmable.
Okay.
So while they initially have specific programming through Columbia Communications in them, if we go on a strike team, there's the ability for the communications leader of that strike team in the field to actually reprogram the radios to the particular channels that they might not have installed in them. So that's the end of my city administrator's report.
I have a question, Amy. It was alarming to hear about vandals taking apart that rope climb. Those aren't Loctite knots or nuts or? Oh, they cut the rope?
That's what I heard.
I was told that they loosened.
They loosened.
It looked like it was cut.
No, that's just because they let them.
They just let them drop.
Let
But
them
no,
drop.
they loosened them. Loctite, I mean, it won't prevent people from loosening them. Loctite's just to keep them from loosening on their own.
Maybe at nighttime we can turn on like an electrical thing where they can zap you.
But Amy, you did say in your report that, maybe we need to explore the cost of cameras and things.
I want to say Scott, didn't you?
He's been looking at that.
Right.
And it may take a while to get a grant to fund that. So I believe under future agenda items, perhaps item 17, that might be a good suggestion.
Have a cheap one for you? Find Costco?
Can we get a pretend one so they don't forget it all?
Any other comments from council? Any questions from those present regarding the report? Ms. Gretel?
I just want to know when the streets are going to get pressure washed. I forgot to ask, but they
I
said
have that on
before-
my list too.
Steve,
Oh, good. They
why
said
don't you-
before the parade, and we have 3 more days.
Steve?
Yes,
My heart's beating.
our staff
Been
is
asking
committed
for
to
5
getting that
years.
done before the parade, and we appreciate the request. It was a good request. I believe it's either Thursday or Friday of this week. It's within a day or two. We didn't want to do it too early. We wanted to wait a little bit. So Chris might be able to answer more precisely, but it should be Thursday or Friday of this week.
Yeah, so my staff didn't want to do it too far ahead of time. So the plan is to get it done at the later part of this week.
Okay, perfect, great. Thank you.
You're giving her anxiety.
So fake news, you guys said staff didn't want to do it.
Any other questions about the admin report? Hi, Tina.
The only other thing I had on the admin report is for you, is pre-emergent on the trail at the park.
Oh, yes, remember we talked about that? Thank you,
So
thank
we
you.
do not do pre-emergent spraying until spring.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But it's on,
Well, it is going
it's on your
down.
list?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Just adding it to your list.
It's already there.
And we understand that you've been shorthanded, and we truly appreciate everything that your staff is doing. I see them almost every Friday morning out there trying to shovel leaves and all of that, and we appreciate, when it's raining or whatever.
They work their butt off.
Yeah.
No, I give them credit.
We truly appreciate, and, because you are shorthanded, if you need to sub some of this out, as Alvin has shared, and we all have shared in the past, please.
Why are you stealing my thunder?
I don't know if it's your thunder or not. Anyway, thank
We're
you.
just here for your bread, Councilman.
Yeah, but even like this
We'll go on to council reports. Scott?
I'll defer my LAFCO report to Kara. I have no report.
So we had a special meeting for Utica Water and Power Authority on November 25th, just to report out on the outage. So they shut down the conveyance system the month of November to do all sorts of work, and what a lot of Shot Creek was going on in the canals, 3/4 mile. They replaced part of the flume there. But we got hit with a couple of storms in between and during this outage, so they had a lot of clean out to do, a lot of debris that ended up. Anything else with what else that they were doing?
Valerie, it was a quick
Yeah,
meeting. They'll give a better
that's the
update.
stuff everyone will understand.
Right, we were still just at the end of it. They'll give an update.
Yeah, and then we had a closed session as well. And so we'll be reporting out of that hopefully next month.
Hi.
Hi.
For LAFCO, we, in our last meeting, we had a special meeting where we elected, appointed a new executive officer they're finishing up the contract, but she's supposed to be starting with January?
January 1st.
January 1st. Will be one of 5 counties, or 5 areas that she has. And also we presented, Tony Tyrell got an award for Commissioner of the Year for LAFCO. He wasn't able to make the conference, so it was really neat that Gary Tuffanelli, and Anita, one of the commission, she actually recorded it when we were in San Diego. So it was really special for him to actually get to listen to him, all of his achievements and stuff like that, and then be presented with the award. So that was fun.
He's gonna be 97 on the 21st of this month.
And he's still moving.
He's still running stuff, running me in circles.
One of the things, one of our board members, Anita Pack, was elected as the secretary to CalAFCO, so we have a presence on the state board.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool. Oh.
I only had Utica, that's all I had in your report, Caroline. Yeah, the only other thing is all staff, whoever needs help. I know we're short-staffed in some areas, so there's savings on that, and you can hire that in other places if we need it to not get behind.
He still
I would agree. I agree. The only thing I have, I'm excited to be a judge for the floats this Saturday. More information to come. I guess we're going to start about 3 o'clock. And I understand Bobby Middleton and the editor from the Calaveras Enterprise are also the judges.
What time is the parade on Saturday?
Right.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You got to go down and judge.
He's got to prejudge.
It's like the Rose Bowl parade.
Yes. So I'm excited about that. And I don't think there's anything else that we do. Morgan, there is an open house for Morgan on December 10th at 10 a.m. So if any.
Habitat?
Habitat. Yeah.
And then there's the Mac Museum on
Saturday.
6th as well, from like 10 to 4 or something like that.
Yeah, 10 a.m.
Okay, thank you. And moving on to correspondence.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I have 2. The first is to communicate to the council that the mayor signed a letter of support. City received a request for a letter of support for a grant regarding a skilled nursing facility in Arnold, and per your handbook, mayor is permitted to do that so long as it's a local issue. There's no financial obligation. It does not commit the city to further financial obligation. The mayor is not aware of any opposition to the issue. The mayor has determined that it's not a controversial issue. There is some urgency to it, and it's shared at the next meeting. So we're sharing it at the meeting now. The urgency was that there was a grant deadline application, and this letter, if we were going to give a letter of support, it needed to be done before this next meeting. So I'll answer any questions about that if you have any. If not, I'll move on to.
Who's applying for the grant?
Aspen Street.
I believe it's Aspen Street Architects.
Oh, okay.
Where would that go?
There was somewhere in Arnold.
Oh, it was that home, right? It was the facility for skilled nursing facility.
Yeah.
Which is sorely
Very needed.
Where was that? Or where is it going?
in Arnold. I don't know where. And the second?
Okay, second communication I have is from White Brenner. We received notification of an annual rate adjustment, which occurs regularly, annually, it occurs. So, yeah, annually. I have
This is why I never call you.
I have the current rates versus the new rates, and it's a nominal increase. It's $4 per hour, something like that. So I just wanted to share that communication that the city.
And that's per their contract.
This is per their contract that they have the ability to adjust their rates annually. Yes.
Any other comments regarding the correspondence? Anyone from the public? Anyone online? Michelle?
No comments online.
Okay. Moving on to the calendar. It's a short one. We have one minute.
the month of December. We have the events there that we already spoke about on Saturday. COG is tomorrow, is that still on for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And we have planning committee that's on the 11th. Our next city council meeting will be December 16th, and then we have some staff meetings, and then we kept on tentatively the UWPA.
It's probably gonna happen.
Okay. And I'm not sure if there was anything for LAFCO this month.
It
or-
probably stinks, but it's fine.
Okay. And
We
she
got the
said-
calendar. Do you want me to send that to you, the?
Oh, that would be great, because I'll start the January calendar stuff.
Okay, one more item before we adjourn, future agenda items, we'll start with Alvin.
Just like to look into that TOT that Gretel
Yes.
had maybe mentioned. I don't know if we can, just look and see if that money's there, how we can spend it, what we can maybe do with it for some downtown type thing. It'd be, let's take a peek at it.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
My pleasure.
Are there any items for the future?
I don't have any agenda items, but I just wanted to make note of following up with CSED about the EV chargers at some of our locations in the city. I want to make sure that Amy attends, or somebody can attend that Monday first webinar. And then I had a quick question about frog butts. How much is left?
I'm not sure of the balance. I think there's somewhere around 10,000 left when I looked last week.
I'd love to see more.
Go get your dollar for dollars.
Yeah.
Gretel, I don't do internet. I can do internet. I do not have internet. It's broken.
Is this your child?
Well, no, frog bugs.
Adjourn.
Is there a different way?
She's asking Michelle, is there a different way to purchase frog bucks?
Right now, that's the only way, but you could come into the office and we could assist you to do that if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, mine's broken.
Yeah.
I thought
Since the beginning
could
of
buy them in the
November.
stores.
Not the frog butts. Oh, yeah.
Isn't there another one we did?
The Bret Hart card.
Scott, any other
I do.
Yeah.
On the same line, I'd like to follow up with the CCD about the broadband downtown. They have a draft for that. And then as far as future agenda items, we talked about a little bit in the past, but I haven't heard anything. Are we looking into water tenders for the fire department? And with, and let's go ahead and let's talk about security cameras for Utica Park, or for our parks in general. Let's look into what that would take. We have this beautiful new park, and I don't know, we have the maintenance crew to maintain it. Can we talk about additional hire on the maintenance crew? Chris says, yeah, we can talk about that.
Sure.
And then also, I brought this up before, we didn't really follow up, and that's, can we do some kind of police overhire? Whenever we look at our police organization chart, we'll always have someone in the academy or someone almost qualified to be on the job. We're always 1 or 2 short. So can we overhire temporarily to help fill those gaps and help make sure the city's fully staffed? So that's it for me.
I don't have any future agenda items. I think, no, I'm good this time. If I do, Steve, I'll give you a call. Any other future agenda items from you folks?
Do I have to come stand up?
Yep. Sure.
Yes, you do.
No, I just wanted to suggest, I was at the county today paying a ticket, but, they had a lot of. Cody's traffic ticket, actually.
Oh,
But I did not know, they have a lot of people that have, in the county, that need community service hours for like jail time. Anyways, I'm wondering, can we get those people to blow leaves and to help the.
Kristen.
I mean, because I didn't realize, and then I talked to the thrift store and they were like, oh yeah, it's hard to get those people to, but a lot of people need community service hours for doing things besides getting traffic tickets.
I don't know that the county still has a program for that, but when they did, it was really difficult to get them.
It's not like you see on TV where they're just all there.
Yeah, I don't know, I was just like thinking about it, I was like, well, I'd rather have them help out.
So, no other future agenda items from you folks or anyone online? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
So seconded.
And roll call.
Behill.
Aye.
Sharado.
Aye.
Shabente.
Aye.
Scott. Aye. Brolio.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming and for staying for the whole meeting.